In the ancient town of Ile-Aroko, where red earth met carved stone, and history breathed through palace walls, the people believed destiny did not shout, it whispered. At the center of the town stood the palace of the Oba, tall, wide, and patient, its walls etched with stories older than memory. Every morning, the drums spoke to the sun. Traders laid out cloths of fire and sky, and life unfolded like a familiar song. And every morning, just as the palace gates opened, the beggar arrived. He came slowly. His back was bent. His wrapper was torn and dusty. His beard was tangled like neglected land. In his hands, he carried a cracked calabash, tied together with tired leather strings. He lowered himself near the gate and sat quietly, as if he were part of the ground itself. The guards barely noticed him anymore. They called him Baba Alaro, the quiet old man. Few spoke to him. Most looked past him. Some pretended he was not there at all. But Baba Alaro was not what he seemed, because beneath the dust and silence lived Chief Adeyemi Akinwale, a man whose name could open doors across oceans, whose wealth had built roads, factories, and ships that slept on foreign waters. He was one of the richest men in the land, and he was afraid. Chief Adeyemi had everything a man could desire, except peace. His only son, Oladele, had grown in comfort so complete it softened his world. Suitors arrived daily, bringing daughters dressed in gold and confidence, their eyes measuring inheritance before love. They praised wealth. They bowed to status. They spoke of luxury as destiny. Chief Adeyemi watched and felt a weight in his chest. "If I leave this world," he asked the ancestors one night, kneeling before the family shrine, "who will guard what I built? Who will guard my son's soul?" The shrine did not answer with words. It answered with silence. And in that silence, he understood. If he wanted truth, he had to remove the disguise of wealth. So he became a beggar. Not far from the palace, by the slow-moving river, lived a young woman named Morenike. She was a cloth dyer. Before dawn each day, she tied her hair with old thread and carried white fabrics to vats of deep indigo blue. Her hands were always stained, her fingers permanently marked by patience. People said indigo taught endurance. Morenike had learned that lesson well. Her parents were gone. Her house was small. But she carried herself like someone who lacked nothing essential. On the morning she first noticed Baba Alaro, she had finished her dyeing early. The cloths hung by the river, breathing blue into the air. As she passed the palace gate, she saw him sitting there, unmoving, unnoticed. Something in her slowed. She stepped closer. "Baba," she said softly, kneeling, "have you eaten today?" Baba Alaro looked up, surprised. No one had asked him that in weeks. She poured warm porridge from her bowl into his cracked calabash and waited until he finished before standing. "May your road be light," she said, and she left. That night, Chief Adeyemi did not sleep. She had not asked his name. She had not asked his story. She had not looked around to see who was watching. She had simply been kind. So he waited. Morenike returned the next day, and the next. Sometimes she brought food, sometimes water, sometimes only conversation. She told him about dyeing cloth, how indigo demanded patience, how rushing ruined the color. Blue rewards those who wait, she said. Baba Alaro listened carefully, and then he tested her. One afternoon, he accused her of stealing his calabash. Her eyes widened, not with anger, but hurt. "If I have wronged you," she said quietly, "I am sorry." She replaced the calabash with her own. Another day, he pretended to collapse. People stepped around him like fallen leaves. Morenike lifted him onto her back, her legs shaking, and carried him into the shade. "You are not a burden," she whispered, thinking he could not hear. Chief Adeyemi closed his eyes, because in that moment, wealth meant nothing. From the palace balconies, Oladele had begun to notice her. He saw how she knelt without fear, how she spoke without pity. Curiosity pulled him beyond privilege. One evening, he followed her to the world. Moonlight shimmered on the water. Indigo cloths floated like quiet dreams. Morenike worked, singing softly. Their eyes met. No words passed, but something ancient stirred. Whispers spread. She wastes kindness. She is foolish. Poverty will cling to her. Suitors stopped coming. Morenike heard the whispers and returned to her work. "What belongs to me," she said to the river, "will not miss me." The Igbeyawo festival arrived, a celebration of unions and destiny. All eligible women were summoned to the palace. Morenike arrived wearing her simplest adire, dyed deep indigo with symbols of rivers and moons, barefoot, unashamed. The courtyard filled with silk, gold, and live. Then the drum stopped. A man entered, upright, regal. Gone was the bent back, gone was the dust. He wore glowing asoke. Coral beads burned like captured sunsets. His staff was carved with ancestral marks. Gasps tore through the crowd. "I became nothing," Chief Adeyemi said, his voice steady, "to find everything." He turned to Morenike. "This woman fed me when I was invisible. She honored me when I had no name." Oladele stepped forward and took her hand, and in that silence, destiny spoke. Morenike did not change who she was. She brought indigo into the palace. She brought patience into wealth. And Ile Aroko learned, gold may inherit gold, but character inherits the future. If you liked this story, please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe for more enticing story tales like this. Until next time, bye!